Alright guys, I'm just gonna document this little journey of me trying to fit some clothes to this rainbow high doll that I got. We're gonna try the method of draping clothes on a doll, which involves wrapping them up in either cling wrap or paper towel or toilet paper or napkins, and then taping it and then drawing on that to get a form fit. Creative 404 on YouTube has a really good video about that for doing this to like Blythe doll size dolls. I've seen other people do it. It's a pretty common thing, but she does a really good job in explaining it. So if you're interested, check hers out. I can't set up a tripod to film the whole thing, so I'm just gonna jump in and out and explain what I've been doing. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know. All right, so you can see that I've got the cling wrap all around her and up around her shoulders so I can make an arm side. Now I'm gonna tighten everything down with some Scotch tape. I actually prefer using napkins for this. I've seen people do the saran wrap or the cling wrap. This is making it slightly bulkier, but that's okay, because I want to make like a shirt with some ease. I'm just trying to get like a loose t-shirt pattern for her that isn't a crop top. Their fashions all seem to come off here and up to here, and I want something that's actually a t-shirt. But I'm going to tighten this down with my Scotch tape, and I'll show you what that looks like when I've done that. All right, so I've got her all taped up. Usually people use masking tape for this, but I had masking tape around here somewhere, but yeah, I used the Scotch tape before. It's just some generic invisible tape, but the thing about it is it's matte finish. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it's really easy to draw on with a pencil or a pen, I guess. But I think if I can find my pencil in that mess there, I'll be using my mechanical pencil. So I'm just going to draw around the hip area. This is all excess that I didn't bother cutting off. The thing is that because they have such a curved back, I feel like I'm going to need a back seam. So I'm going to have to make 4 parts. So I'm going to need to have a line here at the sides, a line down the center back, and I'll probably draw a line down the center so I have it marked in halves. So you would have a line down the middle, the side seam. Okay, let me go sketch this out so I can figure out how I want to do this, and I'll come back and show you what I've done and try to explain it. Okay, so I've sketched out a basic t-shirt, so we only need to do half the body for the pattern. And my pencil didn't work quite as well as it did last time, but as you can see, I have the armhole or the arm side here. I have the line down the side. I don't know if I need to pull that forward a little bit. I always seem to make that too far in the back. And then I have the back neckline and down the back half. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off of her, and I'll lay out the pattern. I'll lay out the pieces and then trace them on paper and clean them up, and I'll show you how that goes. So you see a pen would be better, but I don't really like using a Sharpie because if I accidentally get it on her skin, then I got a problem. So I like to use a pencil. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so you can see that I have my 2 pieces cut out. I do really prefer the napkin or paper towel method, or toilet paper even, to saran wrap, although I've seen people do saran wrap. Maybe don't do it as thick as I did. You can see though how it's still curved to her body. We're going to flatten that out to transfer it to a paper pattern. Right here I can already tell I have a difference in shoulder. I'm gonna have to finagle. This is just to get the general outline. When I did it with the paper, with the napkins, it was more correct. So you can see how these things don't line up here, but when you make them in 3D, they do. That's one of the things that if you use a straight seam, it's not going to be as form-fitting. When you sew these together, exactly, they end up really making more of a 3D or curved shape on her body than just a flat thing. But I am going for a loose t-shirt, so I'm going to transfer it to paper and then put it on some like fabric as a mock-up and see how it works. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I couldn't find my sketchbook. I don't know what the heck happened to it, but I did find this little tiny notebook, which actually is a good size on the messy desk. So I've traced these out, and I've noticed some interesting things, like the curves that I wouldn't have expected on here. And the fronts, I'm used to it being straight, but it does have this curve, and also the bottom curved, and this is curved a little bit too. So this is very curved. This was very difficult to, what am I trying to say? This probably needs to be curved here because you see I think it's corresponding to this, and that is going to need to have a curve as well. And so it's hard to do this while I'm watching in my phone. Alright, so I have this taped in there and on her back to hold it on. I think I might have that a little bit too far, but I think it's going to be pretty good. You can see how it's creasing here. It's wanting to add, it's doing its own bust darts. I'm not going to do bust darts though because the fabric is going to actually drape on her body, and I think this is pretty close. I will like lay these down and try to figure and match up the shoulder better. I tried to give a lot of ease in the armhole because I'm going to put a sleeve in there. So I might have too much there. I'm not sure. If I was doing this for like a sleeveless dress bodice, I think it's too big, but for a t-shirt, I think it's okay. This probably is actually all right. See how it's meeting up right there? I think this is going to work, except for I have to adjust the shoulder. I want one piece here. I don't want a seam down the middle, so I want one piece. So when I put it on the fabric, I'll fold the fabric, and this will be the fold. And when I open it up, it'll be one solid piece, and then I will have to add a little bit extra. I mean, I'll have to add seam allowance when I put it on the fabric, but I should also add a little bit so that I can put Velcro or snaps back here. So let me adjust this, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done next. Okay, so I was able to adjust that so it's a lot closer. So the next thing I'll do is, I guess, trace this so that I have the sleeve cap, and then make a short sleeve of some sort. I'll put this on paper, I'll trace this armhole, and then I'll bring down the, it looks like, I'll bring down the, make a sleeve. It looks like the back is bigger than the front. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you can get away with making it symmetrical, but it looks like I'll have to mark that and be mindful of that when I do my cutting. I'll be back. Okay, you can see I laid this down. Traced it. I have no idea if that's the right length or not. I don't know if this is going to work out correctly or not, but that we'll see. But you can see how they're clearly different. I know that with like real real shirts, for people, you sometimes have this, but I haven't really come across it yet for the dolls. So anyway, we're going to try it this way and see if it works. All right, I pulled out my jersey fabric. I guess I'll just cut it out on the fold and open it up and see what it looks like, and then put on the doll and see what that looks like. This does not have seam allowance on it. It's form fitting, so I will add the seam allowance. I'll trace this. I hand sew, so actually having the line that to sew on, this would be the sew line, and then having the seam allowance is actually helpful anyway. So okay, so see, how do I even do this on the fold? I guess I'm gonna have to maybe make it straight. Alright guys, I'm pretty dubious about this. This is the unfolded, this is the back side of the fold. This is what I had cut out. I mean, I had traced, I use dots because it's jersey knit and it doesn't like to draw straight lines. I also, because I'm hand sewing and it's jersey and it doesn't fray, I use a very small seam allowance. I'm going to try to finagle this on the other side and clean it up, and give myself a sewing line over here as well. This pen fades pretty fast, but it's just it's just disappearing ink. You don't have to wet it or iron it or anything. It just fades mostly. So I'm gonna try to. Also, knit is so wiggly wobbly. You see how I didn't get it. Here's the fold. On the fold exactly, but the fold had bulk, so I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to retrace this on this side and then clean up my seam allowance over here for easier sewing is all. So I have something to follow when I'm hand sewing. I'm going to do that, then I'm going to see how this drapes across the doll's torso. We'll see in the front. We'll see if it even looks remotely right. So okay, as suspected, it is a problem in the middle. So it looks like what I'm going to have to do, like I said, problem right here. The rest of it looks like it's for a t-shirt, it's going to fit pretty nice. So it looks like I would have to take the 2 halves and actually create the front piece as a single piece and not do it on the fold and adjust somehow. Maybe I need to like take 2 of those, tape them on her body and overlap them so that I can get them equally straight across the top. I mean, right now I could turn this into a V-neck t-shirt and I just might do that. I will have to adjust the pattern and make one whole piece that goes across because of this here. I think the hips are going to be fine. The underarms and everything are going to be fine. It's just this neck, right? It's just this part of her chest. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the back pieces and then sew this thing together. And remember, I'm going to give myself an extra little bit on each back piece so that I have room to add Velcro or snaps. Probably Velcro because I have a lot of Velcro, not a lot of snaps. In fact, I don't even know where my snaps are. So I think Velcro. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I've got the pieces cut out very sloppily. I mean, this is my mock-up, right? Because I know I'm going to have to adjust. This isn't going to work perfectly, but it'll tell me how much I have to adjust. I haven't done the sleeves yet. So I'm going to sew the shoulders together and drape across her body and see how it looks, and then cut out sleeves and then really sew it together depending. So yeah, it's interesting. This is very knit fabric. It's very lightweight and very flowy. I could have probably just done it in cotton to mock it up, or a heavier, stiffer, not less stretchy, but a stiffer, thicker weight knit would be better for this. Anyway, I'll come back and after I've done like sewn up the shoulder seams, and then we'll see how it drapes on her body. All right, so I've sewed up the sleeves and I've got it draped on her, and it looks like the sides and the armholes are probably going to work. The back with the overlap is great, maybe too much overlap. Okay, but as suspected and as noted, this right here, you see this? This is not good. So this is a massive problem here. But yes, I will need to make an adjustment on the front panel, but I do want to check out the sleeves. So I'm going to cut the trace and cut out the sleeves and sew this thing up and see if it works. All right, I'll be back after I've cut out sleeves and sewn them on. I won't bore you with that part. Hopefully they're somewhat close. So I just winged it. All right, I have sewn this up, and right away you can tell that I have made this arm too tight. Yeah, I think I need to make the front deeper is the problem. You see how different they are? It looks like I have the top too low or too high. And while I thought it was fitting her form perfectly, somehow that does not translate right. So this is why you should always do a mock-up. And instead of making a tapered arm, I'm going to redraw the sleeve cap after I modify the pattern and then have these straight because I want the arms to be loose. Although I'm guessing that even if I make them straight, they won't be that loose. They'll still be kind of tight. Yeah, so the sleeve arms, the armholes are messed up. I'm still thinking though that this part is good. I have to sort that. So I think I'm going to abandon this now, and I'm going to work on adjusting the pattern. I'm going to cut everything out again and try again. Okay, I'm still adjusting it. So I'm going to make a dart. You see how I folded this right here? I'm going to fold that down, and then I'm going to retrace this out, but with that folded so that I actually then have the correct width up across the neck. Fun, fun. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I've got that fold in there, and I'm using it to trace just the top part of the neckline down to the armholes. Once I get that part done, I'm going to release it so that I can have the bottom be wider. And then once this is roughly traced out, I'll cut it out. I won't cut it out exactly. I'll just trace it, and then I'll try to find the center point, fold it in half, and only cut out one side so that I have a symmetrical piece. Okay, so I folded it in half, and it was way off from the back piece, and I want those to match, I think. I'm going to try to do it having matched up this point, this edge, and then we'll see how it, then I'll try to mock it up again after I try to make an arm sleeve too. All right, you guys, this is working out much better. First of all, I went and found my gray heathered, or whatever this is called, knit fabric. It's a lot stiffer, and the adjustments I made so far seem to be working. This will go higher up on her shoulder when I do the hem and the collar. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close now, I think. I'm going to mess with this later, and it's nighttime. It's pretty late. I'm working on this on and off all day, so I'm probably going to finish this up tomorrow. And then I need to clean. There's some things about the pattern I need to clean up, but I think the basics are there. I'll see what it looks like when I've got the whole thing finished. And the back I know is going to need to be adjusted, and I think that my hem is uneven. I think I actually need to make it longer because I actually want a longer tank. So I would need to make it longer so that it will like actually land here, and then when I hem it up, so I need to make it another about 4 millimeters longer. I think I need to straighten out the pattern because the top, the front and the back lengths aren't exactly the same, but that's not a big deal. If I get this all finished and like in a way that consistently puts out a nice shirt, I might put it up on my website for you guys. All right, I will be back later and show you the finished result. Okay guys, I have the shirt sleeves on and it's fitting very well, and this is very promising. So the next thing I'm going to tackle is I'm going to tackle the neck and the back and the hem. And we'll see how it all fits together. The sleeves, I wanted them long, but they can easily be hemmed up shorter if you wanted a shorter sleeve. You know, I just don't like the joints, so I'm trying to hide them. But all right, guys, it is finished. I think I'm pretty close on this t-shirt. As you can see, by using the draping method, I was able to match the curve of her sides like perfectly, but with ease. There's something going on here on this side, and the sleeves fit really well. I could make them shorter, or you could just hem them shorter depending on like when you cut the pieces out. The neckline is fine. It's just turned over and hemmed because this is a knit material, so it won't fray. I still kind of want, oh okay, and so the back, so it also fits the curve, and I've got it velcroed all the way down here. There are some things that I would probably like to do, like I'd like to mess with the pattern just a little bit to refine it. I don't like how the knit fabric wants to continue to curl. I might need to do a rolled hem, like where I have it doubled over. It might be nice to have like a little facing in there that you can flip underneath, but I don't have anything that's thin enough. And I want it longer so that I have more room to bottom up the hem. And I do need to check the fit over these hips because like I said, this one side is cockeyed and wonky, and I think that's my sewing fault and not the fault of the pattern because it's great on this side. Okay, so I'm all done for now. My camera cut off in the middle of me talking. I guess it's a sign that this video has gone on long enough. If you watched this and enjoyed this process video, thanks for sticking around to the end. I'm going to try to make some slight adjustments and do it again, and then I will put the pattern up once I've got it correct and offer it to you guys for free. Stay tuned. I will let you know when that happens, and I'll see you guys in the next Messy Desk vlog. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.